You ever have one of those nights where your brain just won't shut off? Like it's 1 a.m., you're staring at the ceiling, and suddenly you're thinking about Justin Herbert becoming one of the greatest quarterbacks of all time. No, seriously, top 5 ever. Sounds crazy, right? But here's the real question I want to ask you. Do you honestly believe Justin Herbert will win a Super Bowl before his career is over? Let me know what you think in the comments because I've been going back and forth on this for hours. And the more I think about it, the more I believe it will happen. What's up, Chargers fans? Welcome to the NFL Playbook Chargers. If you're new here, don't forget to hit that subscribe button. This channel is all about breaking down everything you need to know about the Bolts. Okay, right now, Herbert has thrown for more yards than any other quarterback at this point in their career. He broke the record for most passing yards in his first year, his second year, his third year, and so on. Justin Herbert still holds that record for most passing yards. But here's the thing. He hasn't won a single playoff game yet. He's only made it to the playoffs twice. I really think the Chargers team has let him down when it comes to building a good team around him. But since then, they've made a lot of good moves. They brought in Jim Harbaugh as the head coach and Jesse Minter. It's about as good as it gets. It's a really good coaching staff. Herbert had the best regular season of his whole career last year. But then in the playoffs, he didn't play well. He kept throwing interceptions and missing his receivers. The receivers dropped some passes too, but that didn't help. Overall, Herbert just wasn't playing his best football. I think he's going to learn from those mistakes, though. I truly believe, and I'm willing to say this out loud, that Justin Herbert is going to win a Super Bowl. I'm not saying he's going to win 5 Super Bowls or anything crazy like that. But I think when his career is over, Justin Herbert is going to have won a Super Bowl. I don't know if it's going to happen this season, but he's got a great chance because the defense last year gave up the fewest points in all of football, and it only got better. It might not have as many star players as it had last year. Of course, some guys like Bosa are gone. I'm not saying that guys like Poona Ford and Morgan Fox are superstars, but they were stars for the Chargers, and those guys are gone now. But when you look at the first, second, and third best players at each position, all those guys are going to be fighting for spots. It's going to be a total battle in training camp to see who gets those starting positions. And there's still a cornerback spot that's open. The defensive line is wide open. The receiver position is wide open. The running back position is wide open. For all we know, we don't even know who's going to be the started running back. Just because Najee Harris got paid money in free agency doesn't mean he's automatically going to start. Omarion Hampton was picked in the first round of the draft. And then you have guys like Kamani Vidal and Hassan Haskins. I like them, but obviously they're probably not going to be the starting running backs, but I'm looking at the receivers specifically. Lad McConkey is obviously going to play in the slot position. He's the go-to guy. But you've got Quentin Johnston, you've got DJ Chark, you've got Mike Williams. Who's going to be able to step up? The tight end position is interesting. Will Dissly had a good year catching passes, but I'm excited about Hayden Hurst. But I'd be lying if I said those are the guys I'm thinking about, right? Most right now with the veterans, it's actually Stone Smartt. I think he's really going to break out in training camp. He already had a really good mini camp, especially at rookie camp, because he can line up anywhere on the field. He's actually not really a tight end. He's more like a wide receiver playing tight end. He's 6 feet 5 inches, super quick, with big strides. He went to Syracuse, and he's the best tight end in Syracuse history. He's that good. I can't wait to see him work in training camp. For Herbert, there's no excuse now because you have a great defense and you have a lot of weapons around you. The offensive line is the key thing. Alt and Rashawn Slater. That's about as good as it gets. Slater's about to get paid a lot of money, and Alt is a once-in-a-generation talent at the tackle position. But the middle of the offensive line was absolutely terrible, and the Chargers couldn't run the ball at all last year. They lost J.K. Dobbins, and by the way, I have no idea why they didn't bring back Gus Edwards. I get that they already had Harris and Hampton, but letting him go to the Denver Broncos probably wasn't a good idea. We saw last season that when he was healthy, he was actually very good at running the ball. But I'm getting off track here. Talking about the middle of the offensive line, they picked up Mekhi Becton to play right guard. He's coming off the best season of his career when he was with the Philadelphia Eagles. The Eagles have the best offensive line coach, and we saw them in the Super Bowl. Saquon Barkley was amazing. He almost ran for 2,000 yards. He would have hit 2,000 yards if he hadn't sat out the last game. But at the same time, there's an extra game in the season now, so it doesn't feel quite the same. But they won the Super Bowl, and Saquon was unstoppable. and Becton was blocking for him. So, I'm excited about that. One of my crazy predictions this summer is that if Becton breaks out and becomes a star player, the Chargers are going to win the Super Bowl. I think that's the key. If you have a star guard and you already have 2 superstar tackles, that's going to be a big problem for other teams to deal with. You know how it felt watching a playoff game when the Chargers lost? To see Herbert struggle like that was disappointing. But I went back and rewatched it. I went back and looked at the game film. Yeah, Herbert played badly, but also Will Dissly had a huge drop, and there was no running game to speak of. All of that is going to be fixed this year. That's why I'm hoping that Stone Smartt can break out. Najee Harris and Hampton, that has me super excited. These are 2 really good players at the running back position, and it's going to be a lot of fun. Then you have Bradley Bozeman playing left guard instead of center like he did last season. The middle of the offensive line is going to be tested, and it's going to be awesome to see them compete in training camp. I don't know if anybody has a more interesting training camp than the Chargers, because this is one of the few teams where you look at the first, second, and third string players, and it seems like anybody can win the job at multiple positions. Let me give you an example. At the cornerback position, you've got Asante Samuel Jr., Christian Fulton, Elijah Molden, Cam Hart. All these guys. We don't really know who's going to be the starting cornerbacks. Josser Taylor is another name, and DiCaprio Bootle might be getting ahead of myself, but what if he has a great camp and impresses Harbaugh? Harbaugh himself said they're going to have to cut some really talented players, and that's how I look at the Chargers. They're one of those teams where you wish you could keep more guys because they just have so many good players that people don't know about. Khalil Mack was once again the best pass rusher on the team, which is no surprise. The numbers back that up with his pass rush win rate, but he's going to need some help. He's going to need a guy like Tuipulotu to take that next step. I thought he had a good year if I'm being completely honest, but he needs to be even better if the Chargers want to compete in this loaded AFC West division with the Kansas City Chiefs and the Denver Broncos.